I see you have returned, Alliance. Welcome back to another lecture. I see your tenacity for dark side knowledge has expanded. Your desire for the darkness and ever more power has grown. Very well. Today we are going to be exploring something quite special to my heart. Recently, we have been covering beings invested with the dark side of their force, and locations literally ingrained with the dark side from their very divination. Beings like Abeloth, Darth Sidious, Darth Vitiate, the son of Mortis, and the father of shadows are all exceptionally powerful dark side entities. However, today we are going to be exploring planets literally imbued with the light side of the Force, and planets that have been literally ingrained with the dark side since their very creation. Worlds claimed either by Sith or by the Sith Empire. We are going to be exploring a total of 8 worlds of true malicious intent. Starting off, we are going to start with the Sith Empire capital world of Droman Kaas. Fans of the Star Wars The Old Republic game will know this one well. Droman Kaas was the third planet in the Droman system, a star system in the Sith world regions of the Outer Rim Territory's Estron sector. Originally a colony of the Sith Empire, its location was eventually lost by the time of the Great Hyperspace War led by Naga Sadow with the Galactic Republic. But the Sith Emperor Vitiate, the new Emperor, led his people on a 20-year odyssey that ended with the rediscovery of Droman Kaas, using a series of blind hyperspace jumps in 4,980 BBY. The Emperor and the remnants of the shattered Sith society reconstituted the Sith Empire on Droman Kaas and its capital, taming the planet's savage jungles and founding their empire's strength from the skyscrapers of Kaas City. Droman Kaas remained scathed from Republic reprisal when the Empire launched the Great Galactic War in 3681 BBY. The Republic invasion fleet assaulted the Imperial capital in 3640 BBY during the Galactic War with the Empire, while a Jedi Knight known as the Hero of Tython found and defeated the Emperor in personal combat in the Imperial Citadel and the Dark Temple. Moving on, we have unquestionably the most famous of all the worlds on this list. We have the very world that started it all, the world of Korriban. Korriban, also known as Pesagem, during the reign of the Zim, and also known as Moraban by the time of the Clone Wars, was the sole planet in Horus' system, located across the galaxy from Horus Major. It was the original homeworld and native species of the Sith purebloods, and a sacred planet for the Sith Order, housing the tombs for many ancient and powerful Dark Lords of the Sith within the Valley of the Dark Lords, and containing immense dark side power. After the 100-Year Darkness, the remaining Dark Jedi interbred with the Sith species and governed the Sith, using their Force powers. After the Great Hyperspace War, Korriban was abandoned and became a barren world. It was the site of an academy and eventually became the headquarters of the One Sith Order under the rule of Darth Krayt. It was close to Both Thurda and was located on the Nashe Belfar and Kamat Krot. This was the location where the Sith were truly born, and the Order of the Sith Lords led by Junta Pal, Remulus Draper, Karnus Mer, Lady Zozan, and Swords of Sin truly came into being. Moving on, we have the throne world of the Sith purebloods of Zyos. Zyos, sometimes referred to as the gateway of the Empire, in the days of the Old Republic, was a rocky, barren world and potent feudal post for the dark side of the Force, located in the Zyos system, a star system in the Sith world's regions of the Outer Rim's territories. It was an adopted homeworld of the Sith species, connected to nearby worlds by the Nashe Belfar hyperlane. Zyos was considered one of 5 sacred Sith planets alongside Korriban, which we mentioned previously, and was served as the capital of King Adas' Sith Empire and the Old Sith Empire, led by Marka Ragnos. Originally a thickly forested world with a warm climate, Zyos had suffered from a devastating ice age that leveled the vast woodlands after the most Sith, including but not limited to the Kasai priest and the Masasai warrior caste, relocated there in 27,700 BBY, leaving their desolated homeworld of Korriban as a vast tomb world after the death of their leader King Adas. As a result, the planet was transformed into a bitterly cold tundra with an arid climate covered in ice, and became a very similar landscape, in fact, to Korriban, the very planet they had attempted to escape from. Now, my friends, we move on to perhaps the most evil planet in the history of this list, and in the history of the Star Wars galaxy, Nathema. Originally known as Medras, was a fertile agri-world located in the Thema system in the Outer Rim Territory's Crolian sector. During the reign of the Sith Empire in 3103 BBY, the Sith planet's ruler, Sith Lord Drama, was deposed by his own illegitimate son Tenebrae, who received the title of Darth Vitiate and rulership of Metadras from the reigning Dark Lord of the Sith and the ruler of the Sith Council, Marco Ragnos, renaming the planet Nethema. Vitiate kept his planet isolated from the remainder of the Sith, not involving himself with the hyperspace feud in the Great Hyperspace War between Naga Sadow and Ludo Kresh. In the end of the Great Hyperspace War in 5000 VVY, the following year, Vitiate summoned 8,000 remaining Sith Lords to Nethema in order to save the crumbling Sith Empire and dominate their minds, using the guise that it would unleash the dark side in its most potent expression, proceeding to combine their strength in a super weapon known as Zildrog, in a complex ritual of Sith magic and mastery of alchemy that granted him immortality while stripping the life force from the entire planet, using the ritual of Nethema, something we have covered before here on the channel. The next one we will know quite well, as it is Mustafar. Mustafar, the fiery world where Darth Vader became the metal monstrosity that we all know and love. Mustafar was a small planet located in the Mustafar system out of the Outer Rim territories. A fiery volcanic wall where an unusual type of lava was mined as a natural resource. Mustafar often served as a place to dispose of unwanted evidence, a quality which drew the Black Sun to the planet, a crime syndicate at prime during the Clone Wars. It also drew the Sith. It was here that Darth Maul began his training under Sidious. Mustafar serves as the last capital of the Confederacy of Independent Systems during the Clone Wars, thus becoming the eventual site of the Separatists' downfall in the massacre of the Separatist Council by Darth Vader. In the end, Vader fought his former mentor, but the fallen Jedi lost and was severely burnt after he was caught on fire by one of Mustafar's lava rivers, forcing him to wear a dark suit of armor to live in complete and utter agony. Moving on, we have the planet that is rather mysterious, Dathomir. Dathomir was a remote, obscure, and dangerous planet in the Outer Rim territories. It was inhabited by Force-sensitive humanoid figures known as the Witches of Dathomir, also referred to as the Dathomirians and Night Brothers, along with their evil counterpart, the Night Sisters. It was also the homeworld of the dreaded Rancors. Dathomir was the site of numerous battles throughout galactic history, and served as a throne world of Mother Talzin and Old Daka, the leader of the Night Sisters during the Clone Wars era. Ultimately, after the massacre by the Separatists and Darth Sidious killing Talzin in the Son of Dathomir comics, the Night Sisters became relatively extinct, with the last known Night Sister being a member of Luke Skywalker's Jedi Praxium. Moving on, we only have 2 to go, my acolytes, but this next one is one of my favourite. We have Exegol. We had to put one planet from canon in here, and while a multitude of the planets in canon are rather boring and plain, this one is truly interesting. Exegol was a dark desert planet located within the unknown regions that, according to legend, was the hidden rebel world of the Sith, occupied by the Sith Lord Darth Sidious and the Sith Eternal by 35 ABY. It was also the birthplace of Supreme Leader Snoke, whom Sidious created to rule the First Order while concealing himself in the shadows and amassing an army. Exegol used to hide the Final Order, which was a fleet garnered by Sidious and the Sith Eternal, from which they planned to deploy their Star Destroyers and establish a new Sith Empire, built with laser cannons that could destroy an entire planet with one blast. Sidious possessed over 250 miniaturized Death Stars. Exegol was the site of a battle during the war between the First Order and the Resistance, which saw the final defeat of the Sith Loyalists and the Cultists, as well as the final death of Sidious. Now, we move on to the last one, that being the dreaded planet of Malachor 5. While I could start off by explaining where this planet is located, I think I'll let Kreia do it for me.
There is a place in the galaxy where the dark side of the Force runs strong. It is something of the Sith, but it was fueled by war. It corrupts all that walks on its surface, drowns them in the power of the dark side. It corrupts all life, and it feeds on death.
Malachor 5 was the planet that was widely regarded as the most famous of ancient dark worlds. It was an outer rim planet that was located in the Malachor system. Prior to the final battle of the Mandalorian Wars, the planet was fertile and hospitable. After the cataclysmic event caused by the mass shadow generator's activation, it became a cracked and twisted wasteland covered with jagged cliffs and plagued by perpetual lightning storms. It was inhabited by monstrous swarm beasts. The gravity of the planet was unstable, which made it dangerous for starships to stay there for very long. Not to mention, it was the literal reason that Darth Nihilus came into existence. Darth Nihilus, the Lord of Hunger, obviously perhaps the most powerful Sith Lord to have ever lived. Darth Nihilus brought about the first Jedi Purge, which we're making an entire video on soon. So my acolytes, what did you think of this video? Did you enjoy this exploration and archaeology of the 8 most dangerous worlds that not even the Jedi would ever go near? The Jedi, in their pride and vain, would never go near these worlds due to the darkness steeped within them. If I had to pick my personal favourite, I would probably pick Korriban. Korriban is probably my favourite world in all of Star Wars, as the birthplace of the Sith. My personal preference in terms of Force sex over the Jedi. Farewell, my acolyte. I'll see you in a galaxy far, far away. Remember, the Force will be with you, no matter how dark the future may seem.